Now, moving on to our next story, Israel's response to the COVID pandemic has been closely watched worldwide, notably for two main things: its rapid vaccine rollout and its early decision to offer booster shots. But with the massive surge in cases, what is the way forward for Israel? Now, according to the country's expert panel and the Prime Minister himself, even a lockdown won't stop the Omicron wave.
Israel is following three guiding principles: to keep our economy open, to protect the most vulnerable folks in the society, the elders, and to take care of our children, that many of them are vulnerable.
The expert committee called for measures to protect the vulnerable groups, calling for more restrictions on indoor spaces. This is in order to minimize the strain on the health system. The country is now confronting an unprecedented caseload fueled by the Omicron variant. Israel reported over 37,000 new cases on Tuesday, shattering previous records. Among those infected was Foreign Minister Yair Lapid. Now, earlier, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett had said that Israel could record 2 to 4 million COVID-19 infections in this wave. Now, remember, the country has a population of around 9 million, which means that over 1/3 of the nation could end up being infected. But despite the surge, the Israeli government has so far avoided reimposing lockdowns, insisting it can manage an infection wave with a peak that may still be weeks away. So what exactly is Israel's strategy for the Omicron variant? Shortly after the Omicron variant was first detected in South Africa, Israel heavily curbed international travel. But with domestic transmission surging, Israel soon concluded that travel restrictions would only harm the economy. It soon reopened its skies. Israel also allowed bars, restaurants, gyms, and houses of worship to stay open. Over 80% of Israel's adult residents have received 2 jabs, and more than half have also been given a booster. Now, Israel's plan is to now become a trailblazer in administering a 4th shot. Certain at-risk groups now have access to a 4th shot. Preliminary data from Israel indicates a significant antibody boost in those given a 4th shot. Now, our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us this report. Listen in.
As Israel faces the 5th wave of COVID-19, it appears even a lockdown wouldn't stop the tsunami of Omicron. That's according to an expert panel advising the Health Ministry and Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. After the number of serious cases doubled in 1 week, the panel is telling hospitals to prepare for an increase in demand and to gear up for children too young to be vaccinated. Amidst continually changing regulations to tackle the crisis, the panel also called for further measures to protect the most vulnerable. This is Jody Cohn for WION World is One.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.